pretty happy with it.
Start video. All right.
All right, we are live on YouTube. We do not have a quorum yet, so we will give it a few more minutes.
Terry, how much time would you like to give this to see if we can get a quorum?
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so whatever you need.
Can we give it till 10 after?
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
That which reminds me, I see by the agenda you were going to discuss the the licensing certification, what you call it, of the commission members. Something that I started to do several months ago, but have since, for reasons that are still unclear to my fevered mind, deleted. So if you can send me the link, the state link to the teaching videos and the material, I will probably delete that too somehow. But I did get through a couple of the programs and then didn't finish it. So didn't do my homework, Dad.
We can do that, no problem, Terry. Actually, we've discovered that there is a more streamlined training out there through WAIC, which was what we were going to show you. And we've also learned that you as a volunteer commission member, you're not elected. You're not required to do the Public Records Act training. So it'll just be, there's one 40-minute video, and then you self-certify by downloading the certificate and turning that into the clerk. So we'll get that out to everybody. It's a lot easier. You don't have to stumble through the Attorney General's website.
Yeah. Actually, the parts that I did take part in were quite interesting, and I thought very well done. Not that I'm familiar with that sort of practice, but still quite interesting.
sooner than 15 minutes, but he doesn't look far from here, so. We're going to go discuss a different topic. It's not related to this meeting.
Anybody there?
Person at extension 8520 is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
I guess they. Yeah, I did. Oh, here we are.
Yep, we can hear you, Terry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything. That might have adjourned. I changed screens to do some work and didn't know if I'd left myself out or something.
No, we are still waiting on Ed.
Okay.
Hi, Terry.
Hi,
Terry.
hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm fine. You think Mariners will sign up time?
If you've got 50 million a year to pay for him,
Fine. Just
maybe
I'll check
45 because he can't pitch for a year.
it. Yeah.
No, they won't. DePoto's not creative enough for that, I'm afraid.
Terry, I'm going to send you a text.
So Terry, we now have Ed Cons with us, so we do have a quorum if you are available to begin the meeting.
Oh. Oops. I'd forgotten that. Christy, you'll have to remind me how that all happens.
6 million.
Well, are we ready to go ahead and start the meeting? Okay. So would you like to call the meeting to order?
Yeah, yes, let me call, this is Terry Gotchel, Vice Chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. Let me call this meeting to order at 4:30 in the afternoon of November 16, 2023. And I can't call up the agenda, but is this where I take record?
Yes, we can do a roll call for you if you'd like.
Okay, I see Terry Amont, and Ed Kuntz. Is that it in my screen?
That is correct. We do have a quorum based on this attendance.
I'm sorry, with this new screen, I'm unable to call up the agenda to remember the procedure. I've got it a little screen.
Consent agenda.
What do we have up on the, what is he looking at? I think he's looking at what you have up on the screen.
It's opening public comment.
Okay, we don't have anybody from the public in attendance for public comment, nor is there anybody physically here at the meeting. So I think we can move on to the consent agenda, which would be, we have approved the agenda for November 14th, 2023, approved the minutes from June 15th, 2023. And yep, that's what's on the consent agenda.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve both the minutes and the agenda?
I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, let's call for the ayes and the nays. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. I'm still trying to figure out technology here. What's next, John? I can't quite.
The next item on the agenda, on the regular agenda, is the commissioner training. So as members of the historic preservation, you are required to comply with the RCW 4256-150, which is the Open Public Meetings Act. There's training provided by WAIC that if could you go ahead and open that link for us? I think we've sent you the training in the past, and we had been using some links that directed you to the Attorney General's office, which was kind of confusing on what training you needed based on your position. And we've come to learn that WAIC has provided us with some very streamlined training. It's a 40-minute video that you watch, 40 or 45 minutes, and then there's a downloadable certificate, and that will get you the Open Public Meetings Act training.
How often do you do this?
We only need you to do it once every, I think it's 4 years.
Oh, okay, because I know I did it a few years back.
Yeah.
Not at City Hall in Walla.
So we will go ahead and send out, I think Terry, I think you did it. I think you're good. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
The old kind. Nearly died.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So there's two links shown in the in board docs. The second one is only if you're an elected official or appointed to an elected position. So, and that's regarding the Public Records Act training. So like what retention of public records and what's a public record and so on and so forth. But you don't need to do that second one, only the first one. So we'll send that out to you. Just the link. Once you complete the training, you then download the certificate, fill that out. You can either fill it out digitally and save it and then email it to the clerk or Christie, and then we'll get it to the clerk. Or if you want, you can print it off and bring it down, a hard copy down, or put it in the mail. That would be acceptable as well. Whatever works for you on that. So if we could get you guys to complete that in the next month or so after we send out that link, or if you lose the email, just email us back and we'll gladly send it out to you again. Any questions on that item?
You would notify us when it comes around again, I assume.
I think the clerk
renew
takes
that, yeah.
track, she keeps track of
Okay.
that. So yeah, we would let you know.
Thanks.
Now, are you saying you're gonna kind of send a query out again, or?
Well, we will send an email so you don't have to go into Board Docs and find the links.
Okay.
We'll send it to you.
Okay, that'd be good. Thanks.
Christie will do that, right, Christie? Okay. Any other questions about that agenda item? Okay. Well, with that, I think we can move on to the Poor Farm Cemetery Monument Art Review. And let's go ahead and open up maybe it doesn't matter which one. I think maybe the center one, anyone that says center on it, back wall center. So we have 3 tablets that I think does it mention up in the top what the size is? They're 48, the center one is 48 by 60, and then the 2 flanking ones are a little shorter. We have the inscription that my wife came up with, and I did get that out to you just in an email, and asked you to respond individually if there was any concerns, and I didn't hear any, but we can certainly tweak the language in that. Right now it says the Poor Farm provided shelter, food, and work to those who couldn't provide for themselves. The residents here worked the land and were fed by it. May they rest in peace. So that can be still tweaked if we find that it doesn't quite fit what we want, the message that we want to send. And then there were, I think, 451 individuals ranging from infants to adults that are known to be buried there by research that was done by 2020, Walla Walla 2020. If they're looking at the county records, there are believed to be 600 or so buried there, but only 451 names have been clearly identified. So in looking at, so we're interested, we can go through, I think, 3 rounds of changes on the artwork. What we have here right now is basically the font size. The title is 1 inch, the subtitle is a 1/2 inch, and the names are 0.88 inches tall. So when I look at me from my limited artistic skills, the 2 columns looks out of balance to me. I think maybe 3 might be better, but they are showing inscriptions on both sides, which I think is great, but we are eating up most of the slab, which is not leaving any room for further names, many names to be added if there are others identified at a later date. And that's a little concerning to me.
If you go to 3 columns, then you could leave some blank on the bottom.
Yeah, you could leave, it's possible we might even have one slab on the backside that would be
Mhm.
almost completely blank. Which would be fine, in my opinion. And I also wonder if the title, it being at 1 inch, that seems rather small to me.
Yeah,
For a slab of that size, so maybe increasing the title height, and also the subtitle, what I'm calling the inscription part, or, I don't know if that's correct terminology, but.
has anybody tried to do the column center justified instead of left justified? Just for looks?
No, this is the first,
good point.
first draft.
I'm just saying, try it to see what it looks like. It might, because right now, the fact that you got left justified in 2 columns makes it graphically pretty strong.
Yeah,
And then even try 3 columns to see if that, it's just an eyeball judgment, really.
oh, yeah,
I was wondering if we could see mock-ups of several different formats and just kind of compare those.
okay. Christy, Sugar actually has her bachelor's in fine arts, right? And I'd be curious to know, Christy, what your thoughts are, from an artistic standpoint.
I'm not a big fan of what it looks like now, but we could go with the different suggestions. I mean, I could come up with, take that particular name plate and do a couple different, different looks. I don't know if the company can do that because I don't know how they inscribe it on the slab. I'm sure they can locate the names anywhere there.
I would imagine they can. Does anybody have any thoughts on like the detailing around the perimeter? There's a little decorative thing in the corner. Is that on all 4 corners? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, that's a kind of a minor to me, the little decoration, but
Yeah.
I've got nothing against it either.
Okay.
But
We could make
the basic 2 columns left justified, that's a major.
That does leave a lot of space to the right, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've seen like the Vietnam Veteran Memorial and whether they are left justified or center. Yeah. Or is that's a Veterans of Foreign Wars, or
It's Vietnam.
is it Vietnam? There's just so much space on the right side of those columns that it just.
The Gold Star Family Memorial the Gold Star Family Memorial would be more indicative and has more names. So we could look at both of those.
there's another thing that a person could do is if you did, especially if you went to 3 columns, if there was actually a line, in other words, you basically do an outline around each column row. And very, very subtle, but then you could do center justify in the middle of that.
Mhm.
And it would look like 3 basic plates instead of kind of one with a couple rows, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Terry, did you have? Yeah, go ahead.
I failed aesthetics in high school, but could you drop the established 1891 down a line and then center it and just have the title being Poor Farm Cemetery? And then the next line could be established 1891. And then I have the back wall center up, and I've been reading German all day, so this name popped up, Siegfried Adolf. Siegfried is not spelled correctly. At least it's not. The I and the E would be transposed in both parts of that. That's Siegfried as it is now. And I wonder if that was transcribed incorrectly, or perhaps that person came through Ellis Island and all German names were badly transcribed at Ellis Island. But Siegfried Adolf, not Siegfried. And that could be very well how they spelled it back then. I don't know. Sorry, very minor.
No, I'm sure there's more.
This is the right-hand column of the center, about eight or so names down.
These, it doesn't come off as quite as much free area. Is the actual proportion of the monument a fixed thing, or is this an adjustable?
They have fixed pieces of slabs that we ordered. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're fixed.
I mean, we can make them smaller,
What about,
but it's gonna go to waste.
how about taking and doing horizontal instead of vertical?
Yeah.
I think that's probably an option.
Okay,
That might change that'll change the size of the base.
yeah,
You know, probably more concrete, but
yeah.
that's not.
Especially because right now I'm almost afraid that if you went to 3 columns, it'd be crowded. And if you stay with 2, it's got too much free area. Whereas if you went horizontal, maybe you'd feel comfortable with 3 or 4. And you know.
That one doesn't have names.
Right. See that this is center justified on those things too.
Those are like title, heading.
Sorry, the votes.
So will all the names we currently have be listed in these panels?
Yes,
And how many panels?
there's 3. There's 3 panels. The side ones are a little different in size. Let's go to the left. The left is they're 48 by 56. And what did I say? The
40 by 6.
The center is 48 by 60. So they're same width, but taller. It's a little taller,
Mhm.
not a lot.
I have a question. Again, I'm still in the process of visualizing how this works, but the blank space for additional names would be on the back of the panels?
Well, essentially that last panel, which I think is the back. Probably the back left, maybe,
Uh-huh.
if you're,
Mhm.
is the
Go
side.
this way.
No, okay, so let's try the back right. The back right, yeah, it probably only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, room for 6 additional names. So I don't think that that's sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely use the space up.
Versus 50,000 names with the National Vietnam Memorial just pushes all the names together
Yeah. Oh,
in columns.
They left justified, but they have a lot more information going across the line. So their
They're
percentage of coverage is, 80, 90%
I
almost.
think they're in chronological order instead of alphabetical, but they could be alphabetical. It's harder to find the things though.
It's
Harder to read.
I haven't been to the national,
Mhm.
but when it came to Spokane.
Yeah.
years ago, it was hard to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, any other feedback? I mean, we can always take more and we'll bring back
Yeah, just fiddle with it, you know.
Yeah.
Just kind of see what. You can talk about lots of things, but in my, whenever I get into graphics drills, I mean, there's no substitute for laying it out and seeing what it looks like. You know,
Yeah, okay. They don't believe they're doing this art in-house at Wiley Monument. I think they farm it out to somebody, so I was gonna say maybe we could get a meeting with the artist, but with one or two of you. But I think between Christy and I and the feedback that we just got, we should be able to get 3 different variations to bring back to you guys.
or if you can get to somebody that even says, okay, this is the kind of the program I'm trying to use. I mean, there's all kinds of applications that let you, fiddle with spacing and center left justify whatever. So that's pretty easy to do.
Okay,
My CAD program does it, I mean, if I do a note on it, I've got all those choices.
all right. Any additional comments on this agenda item? Barry?
And maybe just one more thing. So I looked at the Vietnam Memorial at Fort Walla Walla that had the columns closer together. And they were left justified, but you could experiment with different options. The Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., which has many, many names, of course, runs names together, multiple names per line. They run from one line to the next. And we wouldn't need to do that. But maybe if 3 columns would fit per panel, then we would have room for additional names later. There is a large panel at the Minidoka Japanese camp for Japanese Americans during World War II in Idaho. And they have a list of 1,000 internees who served in the military during World War II. And it's kind of a 3-panel thing. And they had a lot of blank space and they were able to add names. They continue to add names as they find more. And it looks like it works pretty well. So if we had enough blank space by using 3 columns, maybe we could fit significantly more names than 6.
Okay. Well, that's all we have on the agenda. I don't believe, what are we? Our next meeting would be, what's the date of our next meeting?
December 21.
And I will be on vacation that week. So I don't think we will be meeting, if that works.
January.
So January, we can bring back some revised artwork to you guys.
Well, another thing too is that if you happen to get something, you could email some, Word docs or whatever you want, or just email.
We'll just email them. We just have to make sure we don't start having a 4-way conversation amongst each other about. But you can respond back to Christy or I individually, not all,
Okay, yeah.
with your feedback, and then we can take that. Okay. Well, Terry, I think you have the opportunity to call to conclude this meeting if you would like.
In that case, if there are no more comments, do I hear a motion to conclude?
I second Ed's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are concluded. I still feel adjourned, being as old as I am, but conclude works well. Thank you, everybody.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone,
Oh, you too, John. Thank you.
and Christmas.
Ah.